couple of days ago, I went on a live stream with one of my closest friends, and he said this.
Deep work is ass. You don't need to wake up in the morning just so you can get good grades.
Just to paraphrase that, he said something along the lines of, deep work isn't even that important, just revise to get good results. This advice, I'm not joking, is one of the worst pieces of advice anyone could ever receive. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly why that is, and also how this got me thinking to a bigger societal kind of problem that this community has. But before I get into that, let me introduce myself. Around 2 years ago, I was very fat, quite stupid, and got bad grades in class. It's a long story, but I couldn't read in class. But I went through a massive productivity and fitness transformation. I went from looking like this to being jacked, and also getting into one of the best universities in the world, and getting very good grades at A-level and GCSE. So the common advice is of just revising, or just working without really putting that much effort into it, is so detrimental and so bad because of the following reason. And I just want to highlight this with a story. Around a year or two ago, I was in secondary school. So I wasn't in sixth form, I was in like year 10 to 11. And this is a side tangent, but I wasn't really a good student back then. I used to come into school late pretty much every single day. And what was worse was that I lived right next to the school. So I would like wake up and then go to school late, like 10-15 minutes late. And then when my tutor would ask why I was late, I would say something like, oh no, my bus got cancelled. But this used to happen every single day consistently. And then my tutor got enough of it and then sent me to like break time or lunchtime detention. This was back in, I don't do this anymore. This was like 3 years ago. So I was in detention one day, and the person invigilating, or the person controlling the detention center, was one of my science teachers. This was like an old man, and he was telling off another person who was in like set 8, like a really low set in classes. And he said something along the lines of, yeah, you have to focus more in class. You just have to find out what works for you and revise more. If you just revise more, you're going to get the grade. But deep down inside, when he said that, I kind of like something died inside of me, because at the time, in like year 10, I was actually trying to get better grades. I was actually trying to like put in the work and stuff. I was trying to revise more. I was trying to be more productive, but I just wasn't getting the results that I wanted to. Like, I would actually try to revise all day, but I wouldn't get the same results. I wouldn't get the same grade. I wouldn't be as productive as other people who seemingly didn't put in as much work. They weren't as stressed out about revision. Like, I was just thinking about my grades 24/7, just thinking about the exam I have and stuff, and I still would get lower grades than some of my friends that just randomly revise some days. And it was only when I realized two things that I truly made progress towards my goal, which was getting better grades. Number one is that the advice, find what works for you when it comes to revision, or just life in general, is completely false. Revision, productivity, anything is not subjective. Loads of people try to think that they try to find out what works for them and then revise for the exam, or they try to be more productive. But that's the same as like telling someone to go to the gym to find out what works for you. There are objectively some activities that you do, some things you work on that will be worse, that will give you a lower return on investment than other activities. If you go to the gym and you start like, I don't know, doing some weird exercise, you try to start like swinging from the monkey bars, that is going to get you less jacked than someone who just does like hypertrophic training. It's the same for productivity and revision. It's something that took me years to realize. There are only like a few key things that if you invest your time and like energy into, that will get you good results. If you just revise and you just like randomly start working, like people who are already subconsciously doing these activities, these are like the top grade students who already do stuff like eating the frog, they already have a predictable set of work hours, they're going to get good grades. But then if you take the person who's on like a C right now, or you take someone who's not really doing that well in school, and you tell him just to revise more, he's going to try doing some like random revision to it. He's going to try like rereading the textbook again and again, and he's going to stay at the same grade. It's not as simple as just saying just revise more, because it's not how much you work, it's what you work on. So the overall point is that people who say just revise more, or people who just say just work, they probably got their results. So for example, my friend, right, he got his results by just subconsciously doing the correct activities, and therefore he got good results because of that. But people who aren't as productive, who don't really know this knowledge, won't get the same results if they just revise more. They really need to understand what to work on. And this brings me on to my second point, which is that in order for you to understand what you need to work on, and for you to like understand more about productivity and stuff, watching content like this, actually investing time into watching videos like this, productivity content, will pay off in the long term. Before I get onto this point, I just want to caveat this by saying I have a productivity community thing that I'm launching next month called the Deep Work Club. Basically, it goes through all of like the productivity tactics that I wish I knew. It's like a daily core system where we keep you accountable. We'll set predictable work hours that you work through in the morning. So it's basically pay to win. It's the most, I want to design the most serious productivity community to really help you achieve your goals. So if you're interested in that, sign up to the waiting list in the link in the bio. But back to my main point, there's like a massive culture online right now, or just in person, wherein people kind of clown on people who invest time into researching productivity and like watching videos like this, watching motivational videos, watching self-improvement study videos. But from my own personal experience, and I know this for a fact based on studies and stuff, but every single hour you invest into watching educational content that actually helps you on whatever field, whether this be fitness, productivity, will pay off in the long term. The only reason I can say, looking back, the only reason I went through a massive productivity transformation, the reason I got good grades in the first place, is because I started watching educational productivity YouTubers such as Ali Abdaal, Nathaniel Drew, Thomas Frank back in the day. And I just used to watch their videos, and I would get like random insights throughout the day that I could implement into my own life. So I remember Ali Abdaal talking about active recall and doing Anki and spaced repetition. These are things that I wouldn't have already known if I just tried to revise randomly. So I just want to reinforce the point that watching content like this, watching educational content creators, is objectively such a good thing. And this point of watching content or consuming content by people you want to be like is exactly the same with the gym as well. The thing that ignited my gym progress was I subconsciously knew that I didn't want to be fat anymore, because I was really fat, and I got like it's a long story, but I got like an email from the NHS, the National Health Service here in the UK, saying that I was really overweight and I needed to lose weight. And then I just started watching random fitness content creators such as Greg Doucette, Jeff Nippard, like all of these people, Mike Israel. I just used to watch some of their videos, and then what was happening was subconsciously I would just implement some of those ideas into my day-to-day life. And after watching them for like a year or so, then I could actionably implement that advice into my own life. This concept comes from the overall concept that you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. You've probably heard that saying before, but now in the digital age, you're not the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. You're the sum of the 5 people's videos, or the 5 content creators you consume. So if you consume content by people that you look up to in any goal, and like if you want to get really good at rock climbing, consume content from people who are good at rock climbing. If you want to get good grades, good at productivity, you want to get richer, you want to get into the gym, you watch that style of content. Because like objectively, if you surround yourself and consume information that will change your belief and will help you get to that goal, you're way more likely to put in action and put in work to any goal you have. This has actually been proven by studies such as Role Models, Mentors, and Media Influencers by Kearney and Levine. I'll link it in the description. And Prosocial Modeling, Person Role Models, and the Media, which also like reinforce this point of whoever you consume, whatever content you consume, will affect your belief and therefore affect your actions. So I know I've rambled on in this video for quite some time, but I just want to reinforce that the content you consume, or the people you watch online, are the people you're going to end up like eventually. So why not choose content creators that will help achieve your goals? If you want to get good grades, you then consume content from people who are already getting good grades. If you want to get more productive or more fit, consume my content, because I help people go through a productivity and fitness transformation. If not, you can consume anyone else that you look up to, or someone you kind of want to be like and also have the same goals as. So for example, if you want to be really productive, you follow someone like Ali Abdaal, and what happens is just like the way they speak, the mindset they have, the ideas they have, subconsciously your beliefs will change about a certain thing. So for example, I really used to believe that I couldn't lose weight or I couldn't get jacked because I was brown and I was from India. But just by watching fitness content creators, like my beliefs changed, and therefore I got into the gym, I did what they said, and then I got more jacked. I got into shape. It's like small things that you can't really tangibly say that will change in your mind if you start watching content creators that you respect and then also like you learn from. So just to end this video, I just want to say that it's not cringe to invest time into learning about productivity or learning about fitness, regardless of who says it. The common advice of just revising or just going to the gym doesn't work. It works for like normal people, but if you want to get good at something, you need to invest some energy into learning about that. You can't just randomly revise and expect to get good grades or get into medical school. So I just want to reinforce the point that watching content creators that you respect is objectively a good thing. And if you want to watch content about productivity and fitness, and you want to get more productive and you want to get more fit in the gym, click on the subscribe button down below, and I will see you tomorrow. I upload basically every day on this channel, by the way. So I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.